we are going to take two examples of this book. Mediumship and Apometry, it's not translated yet. Therapeutic, spiritual therapeutic. So we have today two case studies from this book. And he called those cases of difficult treatment. And I will tell you why. And actually, it was from cases like that, especially those cases and others, that he and his group started observing those issues and the phenomenon. And which phenomenon we are going to talk about today related to the two cases that he called difficult treatment. It is of hidden, repressed personalities. They do not show up easily. They hide themselves as much as they can for some reason. And we only know those reasons when we go to unfold them through mediums. That's why I put the name Apometry and Multiple Unfoldment. We need to go deeply. And he says, on his observation, he says that basically people who come to a new incarnation with a program to fulfill, on program that they agreed upon, and they want to fulfill it based on positive things. However, they are full of negative marks on their souls. So those people, in general, have hidden, repressed personalities that come like behind others. So the good ones, let's say, or the calm ones appear, and you treat them, and you believe that the problem is not with the personalities. But that's why Godinho wrote the book and the case and many others. How to get them? It is through unfoldment, through mediums and unfoldment, prepared mediums in order to help. Let's see the cases, and little by little, I'm going to tell you about them and the reason why these kind of things happen to people. The first case is the patient. It was 2000. It is on the records that he has, and it was 2000. The guy was 60 years old, and the family, specifically his daughter, one of his daughters, brought him as, let's say, as a last chance, maybe. Diagnosis, prostate cancer. And the patient was with a peculiar behavior. What was the behavior of the patient? He was still under medical treatment, but let's see his behavior. Couldn't stand that daughter. First of all, hated that daughter, actually hated that daughter. Did not accept any kind of loving care, affection, or any kind of compassion from anyone of the family, actually from anyone. Extremely strict and authoritarian at home. Totally unbearable, as the daughter said. Totally unbearable. That's the patient. Let's see what is behind the scenes, pulling the strings. One more time, I'm talking to you about that. We don't know anything about ourselves unless we go deeply for that, willing to know ourselves. That's when we do deep conscious cleansing, inner conscious cleansing, as it could be the name. But otherwise we will not do that, because we have a tendency to hide some kind of things that even we don't know. God knows. So let's see what happened, the way it happened. He was brought for, or he tried to work with him with past life therapy. But as on past life therapy or regression of memory, you need the help of the patient, mostly on regression of memory. So they will not cooperate. Patients like that, they do not cooperate. Like schizophrenia, remember I spoke to you about? They do not cooperate. It has to be before, it has to be done at a distance. But in this case, he did not want to cooperate. He did not want to love, to live. Now, it was brought to apometry. What is the difference? When you bring things to apometry, whatever it is inside, or you go through a medium, it will attune, it will be like a channeling between the patient and the medium that we call incorporation, in corpore. Many people call that embodiment. It can be one thing or the other. I prefer to say incorporation because that's the way we talk about. So, and the one who is leading the subject, the operator, indoctrinator, can be any other name. But it is a deep symphony, prepared mediums to do that. And if there is something else, it will be through another medium. That's the way it comes in multiple unfoldment. With apometry, you do with one. If you have more than one prepared for and you do at once different things, it comes multiple unfoldment. Now, the medium. When they start the treatment with the guy, a personality came, but it was an easy personality, calm personality through a medium that we call animistic shock. Every time it goes through a medium, it is a kind of shock, and that's why we cleanse part of the matter. So at the end, because the personality was okay, but almost at the end, when the personality was being released to continue the treatment, the medium who was with it start having a different behavior, a strange behavior, like showing something wrong, like a pain on the chest. So he was, the medium was like, something is bothering me in here, feeling something bad, like depression or repressing something when you are anxious or something, and the medium was doing something. It was when Godinho observed something different. And what did he do with the experience he had? Because it was when they start going deeply. What did he do? He unfolded whatever was inside or behind that personality. He noticed that it was not enough, because even though the personality was okay, was going to be released, the patient had not forgiven his daughter. If everything is fine, forgiveness comes right away. But he did not forgive his daughter. So he understood something was behind, and it was something wrong. So he unfolded into another medium, into a new animistic shock, to see what it was. So that instead of one, there were two mediums. And let's see what came that was hidden and repressed what came was a hidden, persuasive, repressed, or void personality, extremely mad at anyone, hated that daughter, and said he had killed her many times and tortured her many times. Actually, he said he had killed the entire family many times. And he was with guilty complex. This void personality that was hidden was with guilt complex, called himself a bloodthirsty monster. Remorse. When somebody wants to suffer, wants to be punished, wants to have more and more bad things on himself or herself, it means remorse. That's the behavior of who is remorseful. But as he said, he had killed that daughter many times and tortured her many times and actually killed the entire family. He showed remorse, because who received him in this incarnation? Them. But he was remorseful with guilty complex. And could not stand, he said, could not stand help, love, compassion from anyone. What else? Needed to suffer more and more and more, needed to be exiled from the planet, needed to be like punished. What is that? Did not forgive himself. So I want to explain to you what is void. What is a void personality? An void personality. When a spirit comes to that point, I would not say spirit, I would say astral body. You are incarnate. Let's come back a little. You are incarnate. You have your physical body living in the physical world, communicating in the physical world. But you also have your perispirit. And on there you will find your astral body, that is a copy of yourself. And when you die, the astral body will continue with all the feelings, with hate and all kind of behavior on the astral world. And the memories that will be fresh will be the memories of last incarnation. And the outfit, like the silhouette or configuration, will be of the last incarnation. Gender, name, background will be of the last incarnation. Memories, the last memories, hate and everything. And this spirit that now is living in the spiritual world will be first in the astral world, because it carries the astral body, and the astral body communicates in the astral world. Now, other than that, we have other bodies. When the spirit is evolved enough that it doesn't need to go again for a new lifetime just to clean the spirit or to continue the incarnation because it is needed. So when it happens, the spirit itself is well evolved and it doesn't need anymore an astral body. So it will lose the astral body as we lose the physical body when we leave the physical planet. Mostly when people are very old and the physical body doesn't go with the energy of the planet any longer, so we need another body. If you get evolved enough in the spiritual world, after many incarnations, you will not need astral body. You go into another dimension. Now, that's the regular way. However, when a spirit or the astral body comes to a void situation, it means the spirit loses the silhouette, the configuration of the body, the copy of the body he used to have the spirit used to have on the last incarnation. It means the second death. But it happens when the spirit, when it has done too many wrongdoings, too much evil, too many wrong things. What did he say? What did the personality say? I have killed that daughter many times, tortured her, and actually killed the entire family. And what else he said? Every single time I need to come into a new incarnation, she forgives me. That daughter. He called that daughter. She forgave me. And I hated the fact that she forgives me, because she forgives me and I feel humiliated and feel worse. That's very remorseful. So he was avoid in a way of avoid like an egg, like without forms, without arms, without hands, there is only the, he doesn't have the astral body. He will have what? Mental body, lower mental and higher mental. Lower mental is where you have the senses, and higher mental where you have the will, power of mind, intuition, imagination. Lower mental body, you have the sensations, all the sensations. So that you have, but you don't have the astral body. What happens to you? You are on the hands of anyone that hate you, and on the worst kind of place. They do to you whatever they want to, because you don't have your way to walk. You go like a amoeba, and you cannot go anywhere. So, but you think, you feel, you know. So other spirits take you on top of others and force them to do whatever they want. Of course, evil spirits, when they want to hurt somebody, they use them to do as they wish. So this avoid personality was hidden inside that level of conscience. What is a level of conscience? We have, each body has 7 levels of conscience, and each level with 7 other sub-levels and so forth, which means part of the time that you have lived. So the data separates from the time, like 100 years, 200, 700 years, and so forth. So it was hidden in a level, spirit level of that body, emotional body, and repressed behind another personality, because it did not want to be seen, discovered. So, but that was the work of Godinho, multiple unfoldment. That's why he does deeply cleansing, because he goes one after the layers and layers and more layers. That's what happened to that guy. And he said that it is very usual when people want to be better, come willing to be better, to make a difference. But that person has too many marks. The spirit is full of marks, remorse, guilt complex, and those personalities related to those matter will eventually hate the physical personality for not being one of them, let's say, or especially they don't want to get better. Because when you are or you see somebody remorseful, you know right away that that somebody doesn't want help, wants to punish, self-punishment. That's guilty. The mentors told Godinho, and Godinho gave us because he was always getting messages from the mentors, and he put on the books. The mentors said to him that human being did not need to suffer too much. Many of us suffer too much because of guilty complex and remorse. We could, he said, that's the words of the mentors, we could have a better life if we had the habit of self-forgiveness that we not always have. And those kind of difficult treatment, basically, when it happens, the person who has the matter, outside home, the person is okay in society, at work, with other people. Like the problems are like hidden, but they are like, how would I say, not real 100%. They are on the surface, but hidden. So the person outside is a wonderful person, but at home, most of the time, in general, they are authoritarian, they are disgusting, unbearable, they are too strict. They have a lot of difficult behavior at home. Why? Because at home is where those who want to dominate or he or she has done too much against are together. Because, you know, there are two kinds of family relationship. One is for love. You are together to add, to do something in a mission. You love each other. Love as a universal love. But the other way is to clean one another, to forgive one another. Like hate. There were hate. In the past, they hated each other for difficult reasons, and now they are having an opportunity to erase or to forgive, or to have or as in a second chance to make up, or you know. So there are these two kind of family relationship. He said, I killed all of them, and that daughter I killed many times and tortured her many times. So remorse and guilty complex. Let's see what else. Those personalities that we call also shadows. Shadows is the same. Everything you do not agree with, or you did not resolve properly, or you were not punished when the time you were living and you did that, but you could hide yourself and nobody could find what happened and who did, and you received no punishment, you did not go to jail for what you've done, then you put in your shadows, in your box of shadows. Someday, somehow, it will be released from there, one way or another way. So when you are punished, you went to prison, you paid on earth what you have done on earth, you will be released probably of what you have done because you paid for that. Or you were in there, but you did not accept the punishment you received, and you will not release everything because you did not accept. You got rebellious against the situation. Or you said, I did not do that. I am in prison, but I did not do that. So you may not have done that, and the hate will be even worse. But when you know you did, and nothing happened, and you did not have a chance for forgiveness, or being forgiving one another, that's when the remorse will be in there. Once you go to the other side, the remorse will get you. Another thing very important in here, he said that when you are in a new incarnation and you have this will to make a difference, to make yourself better, that's the program you are working on. But you did not go to a deep cleansing like this spiritual cleansing, because you don't need necessarily to be sick in order to find somebody who can work with you on that sense, with past life therapy, with the regression of memory, because it is wonderful for us to clean ourselves. Even the babies, when they are about to come, you can release the spirit of the babes from many problems. Now, if you don't have that, and you don't canalize, you don't canalize that problem, those marks you have, to hard work, where you'll be always too busy working on something you want to make your life better, or when you work hard because you have your family to take care of, or some other thing, you are working on that honestly and doing everything that you should do to make everyone happy, and you refuse to do that, or you don't go to sport and you are well involved with the sport and try to be the best, you mostly probably you will end up on violence, because your mind will be too easy to do something or to get influence from somebody, because you have that inside you. You have the shadow, but you did not canalize for positive things. You will end up doing some kind of violence, impulsively violence, or any other kind of thing. And he says it's easy to develop cancer when you have remorse, when you have guilty complex inside you with some personalities. Of course, they will all come through a personality because of what you have done before. So because you don't forgive yourself, you develop cancer easily. And many, many people are having cancer. There was something else on that. First, it was an easy personality. Then the personality was with the behavior, could not forgive the daughter. Then they found the avoid personality, avoidal personality, or avoid, that we call avoid personality. But now there was another unfoldment. Something came, because at the end of this session, he could forgive his daughter, but did not forgive the family. So there was something else behind. Or did not forgive himself. He was forgiving his daughter, but not himself. So there is something else. It was when he said something is wrong, pulled and folded again into another medium. So it was the first one, the second one, and the third medium to unfold something else that was inside. Let's see what it was. Could not forgive himself. Wanted to suffer more and more and more, and with indoctrination, because you have to speak to the personality, to bring the personality to the present time of them, make them understand that that time that they lived, or he lived, or she lived, was not there any longer. It was only memories now, and now they have a new physical body. When they understand that, they wake up and smell the coffee, and then we see the reaction, if positive or negative. But anyway, there is an animistic shock, because it crosses the vibration. At the end of that part, and helping the two very, very strong and bad personalities, then he forgave himself. He forgave the daughter, he forgave the family, and he forgave himself. When you see that, when he saw that, the group saw that, knew that at least the one that is behind the other, getting deep, were cleansed. And that's when he asked, like, conscious of what was going on. And while the patient was talking, the mediums were with the different personalities. And he said what? He asked the family to forgive him and to keep bringing him to that treatment, the only way he could have to clean himself. And whenever they died, and he believed that he would die because he was not getting better with the surgery and all the things, he asked them, the family and his daughter, to continue working for them when he was on the spiritual world. And is that possible? Yes, very possible. And very great when you have people who will do that for you, or who will ask that for you. Sometimes it is even easier work with the spirit than working with a human being. So, and he said that humbly. He accepted compassion. He was accepting treatment from them. Asked them, the family, the members of his family, to study apometry so that they could help others. He said that he could not understand so far how could that happen. And thank God for what Godinho had worked with him, and deeply, that he was too released and he could breathe better. And it is, you know, when you are conscious of what's going on and you feel it, you say it. Because before he was not saying, there were two who could not let him do. So he asked them to work, to continue, please, because whenever he had to come back, he would like to come back close to them so that he could give to them what he could not give this time. He said, I am at the end. I could not give you much. I gave you only trouble when I was the one who needed help. But it was too much for me to accept from you, or to, you know, to love you. But I certainly want to come back together with you in order to give to you what I haven't, or what I couldn't. It was great, consciously. This case is of a guy also with cancer, stomach cancer, also called difficult case and necessity for self-forgiveness. Young man, married, 2 young children, and with a lot of chance and great possibilities to his life. But he had undergone to a couple of surgeries on his stomach, cancer on his stomach, and he had more surgeries to go. And he was under treatment and asked to be helped by Godinho. He knew it. He knew Godinho and was going to the group, was part of the house, but was more receiving because he needed. Now, they helped him while he was on the treatment, and helped after. He had a chance to help him after, when he was on the other side and could follow everything. So let's see. By working for them, one of the mentors advised them to do this. His physical life is about to expire because he was going to many surgeries, but he wanted to live. He wanted to be great, to be better, and to live. But his physical body was not that good, that great. And the mentor said, his physical body is about to expire. That's the way it is. But he needs help even after he passed away. He did not know about that message, but that's one of the messages Godinho received, Godinho and his group, for this treatment. What else? Take care, continuing with the message of the mentors. Take care of this guy as much as you can, at least twice a month or once a month, because you need. And they also said, he needs to recover his perispirits taken copies from his physical body. The point was, he was under the matter with the physical body, and we have 3 bodies that influence us directly. It's the astral body, where the emotion are, emotional, mental. Emotion things, lower mental body senses all the kind of the senses, the sensation, and higher mental with will, power of mind, imagination, intuition, the three. So he said his perispirit is copying of what is going on with his physical body, and they need to be released to avoid more problems. That was the message. His astral body and lower mental body are too affected negatively and transferring negative vibration to his physical body. So the other thing was that his astral body, where the emotions are, where the depression, things you lacked to do on love, respect for others, all that affect your emotion, that bring guilty complex and all the things are in there. And the lower mental, the sensation, what he has done on that sense. Lower mental comes with the sensation, sexual issue, want to material things, want to show off. They are too affected negatively and transferring that to the physical body. And the perispirit itself copying from the physical body. So that's why he needed a lot of help, and that's maybe why his life was about to go. So let's see what happened then. During the treatment, while he was alive, a personality of a higher mental, which means power of mind, will, imagination, and when positive, they can do wonderful things for many. When negative, they can be too mean to others and enslave others. That's higher mental. So when they were working for him and he was still alive, this hidden personality appeared with great mental power. And what did it do? It stopped the treatment. Stopped. Could not be there anymore. Of course, it was done through regressive therapy or past life therapy. That is done directly with the patient. Now, they had to go to apometry. And that personality stopped the treatment, hated the physical body, the physical personality. Physical body means physical personality. You are making your personality now on the present lifetime. So that's the physical personality. Once you die, that physical personality will become one of the others, one of the personalities of the spirit, with the experience and background and everything you learned from the present lifetime. So let's see through apometry what happened when the treatment continued with apometry. Many other rebellious personalities came up, rejecting definitely the life of the physical body. They did not want the physical body to live, the physical personality to live. It was pure remorse. You don't deserve. It is a very common case, very close to the other one. We will destroy you. It was difficult, but what happened? The patient passed away. He was not okay because he was going through many surgeries, and after the 6th surgery, he died. And he stayed in there. And about 6 months later, they asked, because they were following. It was set for the group to help him. And besides, he was a member of the group before. So about 6 months, they were called to continue the treatment. And the mentors said that it is allowed now, after this time, because he was not prepared to forgive himself. But there is something else. the reason why the mentors asked for help, to help him to continue doing what. But there was a problem. The point is, the remorse was too much with this guy, young guy. And when he died, part of his perispirit was brought to the institution or colony where he used to live before the last incarnation. You have to be in a place before you come into a new incarnation. It can be a bad place, according to your deeds or to yourself, or a great place, an institution, a colony, or institution in a colony. Colony is a kind of city. And basically, we have, on top of each city, physical city, we have a colony that keep the same habit, the same temperature, the same everything, so that you will not feel so different when you go there, if you deserve going to the institution or to the colony above the city. And sometimes small towns, they have only one for all of them. Or like villages close to a town or close to a big city, they are together in one institution or one colony will be for all of them. But part of his perispirit was brought to the place where he used to live before incarnation. And the other part was in a lower shadowy zone of the astral world. Why? He was in there because he could not forgive himself. He needed to suffer, because whoever is remorseful needs suffering. It is automatically. And it was remorse for some reason related to emotion or to lower mental. You remember, the astral body and lower mental body were too negative, and transferring that to the physical body. So part of it was in a lower astral world, surrounded by a very gelatinous substance, not great, and 3 entities of low level around him. So he needed to be released. That gelatinous substance needed to be dissolved, and the entities, the 3 entities surrounding him that were not great, otherwise they were not in there, they needed to be treated. They needed to understand and receive help in order to leave him in peace, and after then make him understand. That's why the mentors asked the group of Godinho to take care of them, which they did. They treated him on the other side, that part, and then it was a way for him to forgive himself and believe that God would forgive him. We have a tendency to, when we don't forgive ourselves, we believe that God has forgotten us, or any other high-level entities that we consider, they don't care about me anymore. I don't deserve that. It is common on those who are remorseful. And it's very common when we are dealing with the spirits that are doing a lot of wrongdoings to others. Sometimes they do because they believe they are totally forgotten by God and forgotten by everyone. So, remorse. They don't care anymore. So it was done, that part was done in order for him to believe that God would release him. So what else? These 3 entities were making him bad, even bad. There is an observation here made by Godinho. He said, after those cases, he said, with those cases, we had everything to understand that we are the own architects of our own destiny. Yes, we are. That the phenomenon that he called hidden and repressed or imprisoned personality of difficult treatment. And yes, we are. We are the architect of our own lives. We have always been. Everything is actions. What punishes us is not God. God doesn't punish anyone. We punish ourselves for what we have done. What protects us is our actions, nothing more. According to our actions, we have this. According to our actions, we have that. We go on the energy of one way or the other way. It will depend on us. And whatever bad we have done and did not resolve, and most of the time we don't resolve things on time that should be resolved, we bring to our shadows, and shadows bring shadows.